Have you ever dreamed of flying high in the sky, just like a bird? Well, over 100 years ago, two amazing brothers made that dream a reality. Let's travel back in time to a little bicycle shop in Ohio, where our story begins. Meet Orville and Wilbur Wright. They were super smart and loved to build things. They fixed bicycles, but their real passion was watching birds soar through the air. They thought, hey, if birds can fly, why can't we? So, they started with kites, learning how the wind could lift things up. Then, they built gliders, big, kite-like machines they could ride on. They would take their gliders to windy hills and try to float on the air. Whoosh! Sometimes they soared, and sometimes, bonk, they crashed, but they never, ever gave up. They knew they were missing one important piece, an engine. They needed something to push their glider forward all by itself. After years of studying, building, and a whole lot of crashing and fixing, they were finally ready. They built their own lightweight engine and a special propeller, kind of like a fan, to move the plane. They called their new invention the Flyer. They packed it up and traveled all the way to a windy beach called Kitty Hawk in North Carolina. The sand would be a soft place to land, just in case. They spent weeks testing everything, waiting for the perfect windy day, and then it arrived. December 17, 1903. This was the big day. It was chilly and very windy. Orville won a coin toss, so he got to be the first pilot. He lay down on the lower wing of the Flyer, his hands on the controls. Wilbur gave the propeller a mighty spin. The engine roared to life. Vroom, vroom. Wilbur ran alongside the wing to steady the plane as it rumbled down a wooden track. And then, it happened. The Flyer lifted off the ground. Whoosh! For 12 whole seconds, Orville was flying. He flew 120 feet, which is about as long as a blue whale. It wasn't very far or very long, but it was the very first time a machine with a person inside had flown with its own power. 5 people from a nearby station were there to watch, and they couldn't believe their eyes. They all cheered. Of course, their journey wasn't easy. That first plane, the Flyer, weighed over 600 pounds. Can you imagine trying to get something that heavy off the ground? They tried 3 more flights that day, with the last one staying in the air for almost a full minute. But after the last flight, a huge gust of wind flipped the plane over and smashed it, but it didn't matter. They had done it. They proved that powered flight was possible. Even though many people didn't believe them at first, Orville and Wilbur kept improving their designs. They built new planes that could fly higher, farther, and even turn in the air. Their incredible invention completely changed our world.